Hi, it's Jenny from Happy Hounds. Just want to do a video on what to do if you lose your dog. Where we live here in this beautiful Northumberland countryside, we have a lot of wilderness and it's quite easy for your dog to get lost and actually not be spotted very easily. Now, if we think about what we're doing when our dogs are off lead, and if you do have a dog that likes to do circuits, as in they run off into the... Murphy's just done that now. And they come back in a circuit. Now, that's fine if they have a good recall and you're generally aware of how long they do that. And you'll find that there's they generally have a set time in which they do it, and until they feel insecure and they feel that they need to come back again. Murphy has a very short time. Tess has a very long time. So being aware of what their usual behaviour is like. Also, the other part of that is, if your dog runs off in, say, a snicket like that one, when you're watching them, do they normally in the same hole, or do they come back slightly further up? My pup's only just learned that she can find me slightly further up. She would always come out of the same hole. So, bearing those things in mind. Now, if you suddenly realise that you haven't seen your dog for a bit, the recall's failed, what happens is, especially if they've had a chase, often they can go off. They can go right into a chase, right behind a deer maybe, and then suddenly they go, oh, no, I need to get back. And that could be, depending on your dog, minutes or hours, to be honest. Your dog will most likely try to retrace where they've been to find you. Your dog will, at some point, I say 90% of the time, they will start looking for you. So if they're looking for you and you're looking for them, this is where it tends to go a little bit wrong. So if we stay where we last saw our dog, or where they last saw us, and continue to make noise. Now, if you imagine that you've lost your dog and they've run off half a mile into the forest, and you then walk to look for them, you're not where they thought you were, and that's when a panic run will start to happen. If a panic run starts, which is where your dog automatically just starts to full pelt everywhere looking for you, they get into a real high panic mode. I lost once a dog for 20 minutes. He looked at me and didn't believe it was me. So the dog looked at me and he didn't believe it was me. So what also helps then is that if you wave, the dog knows how you move better than how you sound. So certain movement will help you, your dog identify you. I actually see it on Tyne Green where the dogs have lost their owner when there's lots of people around. They can't work out which one's their owner. So I'm like, shout, you dog. And yeah, so the poor dogs get disorientated. Now there's that few dogs that get on a hunt and their mindset's gone and they'll go and hunt for hours and hours. But being very aware of where you are. Now, also timing how long your dog's been away. If your dog normally goes out of sight for a minute and it's suddenly becoming 5-10 minutes, you need to make a time note of how long they've been away. This also helps you work out if your dog doesn't come back within half an hour, the other part of that is checking your vehicle, checking where you entered that walk. And you need to start calling for help, and you need to get people to cover ground so that they can spot your dog for you. So someone near your car, someone on the route to home, whatever, however you got to your walk. And then if you got worst case scenario, and you're shouting, that's why a whistle's really useful. You can make noise for ages with that. That you put something down of yourself, like your hat, your scarf, something that smells of you, where you lost the dog. And if they do get back there, they're most likely to stay with that smell and that item and snuggle in with it, so that you can hopefully come back in the morning and find them, or if that time that you weren't there, they felt the need to stay there, they thought there's a chance of staying there. This obviously varies on dog mentality and intelligence and how much disturbance is going on in the area. Now, I think what's happened with our dog that's missing at the moment, I think that she was a scaredy girl, and all the people in the forest has actually scared her away. And then that becomes also a problem. If your dog then goes into panic mode and won't respond to anybody, then what you actually need is people just to be in the area, well, to be honest, quietly be in the area, One of my things that I did yesterday was I sat in the forest and I cooked up some sausages to try and bring us some smell in. I think in 2 days of not being fed properly, maybe just sitting quietly cooking some sausage and the dog might have come in. But I put as much food smell into the forest as I could to kind of to draw in something, and it didn't quite work, but that would also be another idea. But yeah, the first hour of losing your dog is the most crucial one, and stay still, make as much noise as you can. If they've lost you, they need to orientate to where you are through voice, and some dogs are really rubbish at that. So they hear you, but they don't know how to locate you, and only through continuous sound can they locate you. Just work on that recall, guys, honestly. If you don't trust your dog, then you need... Oh, just got stuck around a tree again. You need one of these. You need a long 9.